The Los Angeles night pulsed with a manufactured energy, a stark contrast to the deep currents churning beneath the city's glittering surface. Keanu Reeves, a name synonymous with action and heroism on screen, found himself adrift in the quiet isolation that often accompanies fame. The premiere's echoes faded, replaced by a yearning for something authentic, a connection that transcended the carefully constructed reality of Hollywood. He craved purpose beyond the flashing lights. That desire found a focal point in the trembling figure of Zoe Chen, barely 16, her plea a raw wound in the city's polished facade. Her desperation was a tangible thing, a suffocating blanket of fear woven from shadowy figures and unspoken threats. Zoe's whispered words, "They're going to kill my father," shattered the illusion of safety, pulling Keanu into a world where compassion demanded action. Marcus Chen, her father, a brilliant scientist, on the verge of a revolutionary energy discovery, became a target for those who profited from the status quo. Zoe, fiercely protective, represented innocence, threatened by ruthless ambition, a David facing a corporate Goliath. Detective Anaya Desai, a veteran cop hardened by years of battling corruption within the LAPD, offered a glimmer of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. Jaded but not broken, she navigated the city's treacherous landscape, seeking justice in a system designed to protect the powerful. Her path, seemingly disparate from Keanu's, converged with Zoe's plight, creating a fragile alliance against overwhelming odds. The stage was set for a collision of worlds, where Hollywood glamour clashed with gritty realism, and the pursuit of truth carried a deadly price. Viktor Kovalev, a charismatic crime lord with a reputation as ruthless as he was unpredictable, added another layer of complexity. His involvement, initially shrouded in ambiguity, hinted at a hidden code, a sense of twisted morality that could either be their salvation or their ultimate downfall. As alliances shifted and betrayals unfolded, the true nature of heroism would be tested, blurring the lines between right and wrong in a desperate fight for survival. The fate of a father, the future of clean energy, and the conscience of a city hung in the balance. Los Angeles sprawls a concrete tapestry woven with dreams and disillusionment. The sun-drenched boulevards and opulent mansions of Beverly Hills stand in stark contrast to the shadowed alleys and forgotten corners where the city's secrets fester. It's a place where fortunes are made and lives are broken, where illusion reigns. Supreme and truth struggles to find purchase. Beneath the veneer of glamour lies a complex web of corruption and power, a system that protects the elite while crushing the vulnerable. This is the battleground where Keanu, Zoe, Anaya, Marcus, and Victor find themselves entangled. Keanu Reeves, despite his global fame, feels a gnawing emptiness. He seeks genuine connection beyond the superficiality of celebrity, a yearning rooted in a childhood marked by instability and the constant pursuit of validation. Zoe Chen, orphaned at a young age and raised by her brilliant but eccentric father, carries a resilience born of necessity. She is a prodigy, with computers her skills honed by a desire to protect the only family she has left. Marcus Chen's life is devoted to scientific discovery, driven by a deep-seated belief in a better future for humanity. His groundbreaking energy. Research represents a potential paradigm shift threatening the established order. Detective Anaya Desai is a weary warrior in a system rigged against her. Haunted by past failures and disillusioned by the pervasive corruption within the LAPD, she clings to a flicker of hope that justice can still be served. Her pursuit of the corporations targeting Marcus Chen is personal, fueled by a desire to avenge past victims. Viktor Kovalev, a Russian émigré who rose through the ranks of organized crime, operates by his own set of rules. He is a man of contradictions, capable of both brutal violence and unexpected acts of compassion. His connection to the conflict stems from a prior betrayal by the corporations, igniting a thirst for revenge that aligns, however tenuously, with the pursuit of justice. The relationships between these characters are forged in the crucible of crisis, tested by danger and driven by desperation. Keanu's empathy draws him to Zoe, creating a bond that transcends fame and circumstance. Anaya sees in Marcus a kindred spirit, a victim of corporate greed who deserves protection. Victor, driven by his own agenda, finds an unlikely respect for Keanu's willingness to risk everything for what he believes in. Their intertwined fates paint a landscape of moral ambiguity and the transformative power of unlikely alliances. Keanu uncovers a deeper conspiracy. Marcus's energy source wasn't just clean, it could weaponize, attracting global powers. Anaya finds her partner is a corporate mole. Zoe discovers her mum's death wasn't accidental, but orchestrated to silence Marcus. Victor's compassion is tied to exploiting the tech for profit, betraying Keanu as the race intensifies amidst shocking truths. Keanu, reeling from Victor's betrayal, and Zoe's revelation about her mother shifts his focus, expose the weaponization, potential to prevent global conflict. His goal, leak the data to a neutral international body. The first obstacle evading Victor's increased surveillance and a citywide manhunt orchestrated by compromised law enforcement. Anaya, now distrustful of everyone, secretly aids Keanu her goal, shifting to dismantling the corrupt system from within, risking her career and life. Zoe, fueled by vengeance and the need to protect her father's legacy, immerses herself in hacking, aiming to decrypt a heavily secured file containing proof of her mother's murder and the weaponization plans. Her obstacle, sophisticated firewalls and a relentless corporate security team closing in. The subplot: Zoe discovers a hidden message left by her mother, a clue pointing to a former colleague of Marcus, potentially an ally or a deeper conspirator. Marcus, devastated by the revelation of his wife's death and the weaponization of his research, seeks redemption. His goal: create a failsafe to neutralize the technology if it falls into the wrong hands. His obstacle: limited resources and constant surveillance, forcing him to rely on his wits and Zoe's technological prowess. The dynamic shifts between Keanu and Anaya as they forge a tentative alliance, their shared goals blurring the lines of trust and suspicion. Victor, now fully embracing his role as the antagonist, consolidates his power, aiming to sell the weaponized technology to the highest bidder. His goal: amass wealth and influence on a global scale. His obstacle: competition from other powerful entities and the unpredictable nature of the technology itself. The subplot: Victor grapples with the guilt of betraying Keanu, a flicker of humanity warring with his ambition. The initial plot thickens as the characters' individual goals and obstacles intertwine, setting the stage for escalating conflict and unforeseen consequences. The inciting incident arrives in the form of a coordinated cyber attack targeting key infrastructure across the globe. Power grids falter, communication networks collapse, and financial systems grind to a halt, all traced back to Marcus Chen's weaponized energy technology. This orchestrated chaos isn't a test. It's a demonstration of power, a chilling preview of the technology's devastating potential in the wrong hands. The attack, meticulously planned and ruthlessly executed, is Victor's opening move in a high-stakes game of global dominance. This event shatters the status quo, thrusting Keanu, Zoe, Anaya, and Marcus into immediate action. Keanu realizes the urgency of exposing the technology's true nature before it triggers a global war. The attack solidifies his resolve to leak the data even at the cost of his own safety. He understands that time is running out and the world teeters on the brink of irreversible disaster. Zoe sees the cyber attack as a direct consequence of her mother's murder and the theft of her father's research. Driven by vengeance, she dedicates herself to stopping Victor, viewing him as the ultimate architect of their suffering. Anaya recognizes the cyber attack as a symptom of a far deeper corruption within the system she swore to protect. The event galvanizes her resolve to expose the corporate entities and government officials enabling Victor's actions. She sees the attack as a personal failure, a betrayal of the public trust, and vows to bring the perpetrators to justice. Marcus, witnessing the catastrophic consequences of his creation, grapples with immense guilt and a renewed sense of responsibility. He understands that his failsafe is the only hope of preventing further devastation. The cyber attack forces the characters to adapt and confront their deepest fears. Keanu must shed his celebrity persona and embrace his inner action hero. Zoe must overcome her grief and channel her anger into strategic action. Anaya must navigate the treacherous landscape of her own precinct, risking exposure and betrayal. Marcus must face the consequences of his ambition and find the strength to redeem himself. The inciting incident propels the story forward, creating a sense of urgency and solidifying the characters' motivations as they embark on a perilous journey to prevent a global catastrophe. The global cyber attack plunges the world into chaos, escalating the stakes for everyone involved. Governments scramble to regain control, implementing draconian measures that erode civil liberties. This crackdown makes Keanu's mission to leak the data even more dangerous, turning him into a fugitive, hunted by both corporate forces and state authorities. He enlists the help of Lena, a seasoned investigative journalist with a network of underground sources, but trusting her comes with its own risks. Zoe's hacking attempts are hampered by enhanced security measures implemented by Victor. She realizes she needs help from someone with insider knowledge of Victor's operations. She reluctantly seeks out Dmitri, a former associate of Victor, now living in hiding after a falling out. Dmitri's motivations are unclear, and his loyalty is questionable, but he offers a potential key to unlocking Victor's encrypted network. Anaya faces increasing pressure from her superiors to drop the investigation into the corporate entities involved in the cyber attack. She's reassigned to a desk job, effectively sidelined from the case. Refusing to be silenced, she continues her investigation in secret, relying on a network of trusted informants within the police force. This defiance makes her a target, placing her in grave danger. Marcus, haunted by the consequences of his creation, races against time to complete the failsafe. He isolates himself in a hidden laboratory, working tirelessly to perfect the technology. He is visited by Dr. Evelyn Reed, a former colleague who claims to have information about the origins of the weaponization project. Evelyn's appearance raises new questions about the true purpose of Marcus's research. The emerging subplots add layers of complexity to the narrative. Lena's investigation uncovers a shadowy organization pulling the strings behind Victor's operation. Dimitri's past reveals a hidden connection to Zoe's mother. Dr. Reed's revelations expose a conspiracy that dates back decades, implicating powerful figures in both the corporate and government sectors. These new challenges and revelations further develop the characters' motivations, forcing them to confront their pasts, question their allegiances, and make difficult choices as they navigate the treacherous landscape of betrayal and deceit. Keanu, hunted relentlessly, faces a moral dilemma: expose Lena to protect himself or risk capture to keep her safe. He discovers Lena's been manipulated by the Shadow Organization, feeding her misinformation, making his leak plan dangerous. Trust erodes the leak, becoming a deadly game. Zoe's reliance on Dimitri deepens, but Anaya warns against trusting him, revealing his violent past. Zoe faces a choice: believe Anaya, risking her only lead to Victor, or trust Dimitri, potentially walking into a trap. The tension mounts as Zoe uncovers evidence Dimitri's withholding information, a hidden agenda emerging. Anaya's secret investigation is discovered, framing her for leaking classified information, making her a target of both corrupt cops and the Shadow Organization. She must clear her name, exposing the conspiracy before they silence her, forging an uneasy alliance with Dimitri, leveraging his knowledge against Victor. Marcus nears completion of the failsafe, facing a scientific hurdle. The technology is unstable, potentially causing a catastrophic explosion if activated improperly. Evelyn reveals the failsafe has a backdoor designed to weaponize the technology further. He's trapped. Completing the failsafe empowers the enemy. Abandoning it ensures global chaos. These escalating conflicts intertwine. Keanu needs Zoe's hacking to verify Lena's intel. Zoe needs Anaya's police contacts to vet Dimitri. Anaya needs Marcus's failsafe knowledge to leverage against the Shadow Organization. As tension increases, loyalties blur, sacrifices loom, the characters push to their breaking points. The carefully laid plans crumble like sandcastles before a rising tide. Victor, having anticipated their every move, springs his meticulously crafted trap. Lena, the seemingly trustworthy journalist, is unveiled as a cunning double agent, skillfully manipulating Keanu into divulging the precise location for the data leak. Simultaneously, Dimitri, whose motives were always shrouded in ambiguity, orchestrates a devastating betrayal of Zoe and Anaya, cunningly leading them into a meticulously planned ambush orchestrated by Victor's ruthless forces. Deep within his hidden laboratory, Marcus, compelled to activate the failsafe to prevent the technology's imminent weaponization on a global scale, makes a chilling discovery. Evelyn's sinister alteration is complete, irrevocably transforming his life-saving invention into a catastrophic doomsday device capable of unleashing unimaginable destruction. The characters, once united by a shared purpose and bound by fragile alliances, are now scattered like leaves in a storm, isolated, vulnerable, and facing what appear to be insurmountable odds. The trust that had been so painstakingly built has evaporated, replaced by suspicion and a profound sense of loss. These pivotal turning points serve as a crucible, forging significant and lasting character developments that expose their inner strengths and weaknesses. Keanu, stripped of his reliance on external support and forced to confront the harsh realities of the situation, embraces a ruthless determination to bring Victor to justice, even if it demands the ultimate sacrifice, his own life. Zoe, fueled by the burning embers of betrayal and grief, abandons her dependence on technology, instead tapping into a dormant inner strength, a fierce resilience honed by years of loss and hardship, transforming herself from a tech prodigy into a formidable force. Anaya, stripped of her badge, her reputation tarnished, and her career in ruins, makes the unwavering choice to expose the pervasive corruption that has poisoned the system she swore to protect, becoming a rogue agent, her moral compass remaining unwavering in the face of overwhelming adversity. Marcus, confronted with the horrific and unforeseen consequences of his own ambition and the devastating potential of his creation, accepts his responsibility for the impending global crisis, vowing to find a way to disarm the doomsday device, even if it means sacrificing his own life to atone for his past mistakes. The climax looms large on the horizon, the characters irrevocably transformed by betrayal, loss, and the crushing weight of responsibility, their destinies hanging precariously in the balance, the fate of the world resting on their shoulders. Keanu, embracing his newfound ruthlessness, confronts Lena, seeking answers and a way to locate Victor. Their confrontation is a psychological battle, exposing Lena's own manipulation by the shadow organization and her growing regret. He extracts a vital piece of information, Victor's fail-safe control center location. This minor victory steels Keanu for the final showdown. Zoe, navigating the ambush's aftermath, encounters Dimitri wounded and remorseful. He offers a chance at redemption, revealing a hidden override code for Victor's network, but his trustworthiness remains questionable. This alliance of necessity sets Zoe on a path towards confronting her inner demons and making a difficult choice. Anaya, a fugitive hunted by her former colleagues, seeks refuge with her trusted network of informants. They provide her with evidence of the shadow organization's involvement, a path toward exposing the corruption that reaches the highest levels of power. The exposure, however, carries a heavy price, threatening her informants' lives. Marcus, racing against the ticking clock, faces a scientific puzzle. The doomsday device's activation sequence is encrypted with a complex algorithm. He realizes Evelyn intentionally designed it to be unsolvable, a final act of defiance against him. He finds a loophole, a hidden vulnerability in the fail-safe's code, offering a glimmer of hope. Minor resolutions emerge. Keanu securing the control center location, Zoe obtaining the override code, Anaya gaining the evidence against the shadow organization, and Marcus finding the loophole in the failsafe. These victories, however, are overshadowed by the looming threat of the doomsday device. Subplots tie up, revealing the intricate web of connections and betrayals that have led them to this point. The stage is set for the climax, the characters prepared to confront their ultimate challenges, their fates intertwined, their resolve tested. Keanu infiltrates Victor's control center, a heavily fortified bunker beneath Los Angeles, facing waves of security personnel. He must disable the facility's security system to allow Zoe and Anaya access, facing the physical manifestation of Victor's power and influence. The fate of the world rests on his ability to overcome this final obstacle. The stakes heightened by Victor's presence, a personal confrontation looming. Zoe, trusting Dimitri's override code, confronts a digital gauntlet, Victor's network, bristling with lethal security protocols. Dimitri's true motives remain ambiguous, and the override code could be a Trojan horse, a final act of betrayal. Her hacking skills are tested to their absolute limit, the suspense building as she races against the clock to disarm the doomsday device remotely. Anaya, armed with evidence against the Shadow Organization, faces a difficult choice: expose the corruption, publicly risking a global power vacuum, or negotiate with them, potentially saving lives, but compromising her principles. She confronts a representative of the organization, a shadowy figure promising immunity in exchange for silence, testing her moral resolve and her commitment to justice. These narrative threads converge. Keanu breaching security allows Zoe to access the network. Anaya's evidence provides leverage, potentially forcing the Shadow Organization to intervene. The final obstacles are in place. The emotionally charged stakes heightening the suspense, the characters prepared to confront their destinies in a climactic showdown that will determine the fate of the world. Keanu confronts Victor in the control center. A brutal hand-to-hand fight ensues, testing Keanu's physical and mental limits. Just as Victor gains the upper hand, Lena, seeking redemption, intervenes, sacrificing herself to create an opening for Keanu. This act buys Keanu time to disable the security system, a hard-won victory fueled by sacrifice. Zoe, navigating the treacherous digital landscape, confronts Dimitri's final betrayal. The override code is incomplete, designed to trap her within the system. Using her skills, she outmaneuvers the trap, completing the code and gaining access to the doomsday device's controls. She races to input Marcus's fail-safe sequence, the fate of the world hanging on her fingertips. Anaya confronts the Shadow Organization's representative, presenting irrefutable evidence of their corruption. Faced with exposure, they attempt to silence her, but Anaya, empowered by her unwavering moral compass, exposes them to the world, triggering a global outcry. The organization crumbles, their power shattered. As Zoe activates the failsafe, Marcus makes a final choice. He uploads a virus into the system, destroying the doomsday device and ensuring the weaponization technology can never be used again. The device is neutralized, the world saved, but Marcus sacrifices himself in the process, a poignant resolution of his redemptive arc. The thematic message resonates: courage, compassion, and sacrifice can triumph over greed and corruption. Now consider, what sacrifices are you willing to make to protect the future? The world mends, scarred yet wiser, forever marked by the crisis averted. Keanu, his perspective irrevocably altered, sheds the pursuit of fleeting fame, finding profound purpose in advocating for global cybersecurity and accessible clean energy initiatives. He establishes the Marcus Chen Foundation, a beacon of hope, fostering innovation and safeguarding against future threats. Finally realizing true heroism resides not in cinematic portrayals, but in tangible, real-world action. Zoe, carrying her father's torch, dedicates her life to mastering cybersecurity, her skills honed by the fires of adversity. She finds profound solace in knowing her mother's sacrifice wasn't in vain, her unwavering fight inspiring a new generation of digital guardians to protect the innocent and defend against digital tyranny. Anaya celebrated as a symbol of unwavering integrity, spearheads the arduous task of rebuilding the Los Angeles Police Department, meticulously purging corruption and championing justice for all. Her unwavering commitment transforms her into a living testament to the power of a single individual to stand against overwhelming odds and effect lasting change. The insidious shadow organization is finally dismantled, its nefarious members brought to justice, their reign of terror brought to a definitive end, the reverberations of their downfall echoing through the corridors of power worldwide. While Marcus's ultimate sacrifice is deeply mourned, his enduring legacy lives on his groundbreaking technology, released as open source, igniting a revolution of innovation and ensuring a future powered by clean, sustainable energy sources, his death securing a lasting global peace. Years later, bathed in the golden light of a setting sun, Keanu and Zoe stand on a Malibu beach, a poignant symbol of hope and resilience against overwhelming adversity. They often ask themselves, and now we ask you to think too, what lasting legacy can we leave behind for future generations to come?